Hello class. Today we're going to talk about actividades de comunicación. The actividades de comunicación you've read about in the syllabus. When you come to our class, it's going to be in the assignment folder that we are in. So this week we are still in the introduction. And this week we're just going to do one actividad de comunicación, although there will be two on most weeks. When you come down here, you see actividad de comunicación. This week will be a little bit different because you'll be allowed to do something a little bit more passive and more observatory, and you can watch a movie or something like that. Whereas most of the time, I want you to be communicating in the language using the words that you've learned. So once you click on this, it's going to open up in a test format. And it opens up in a new window. Now, the actividades de comunicación, the idea is you're going to do things that is practicing your language and listening abilities. So there's many things that you can possibly do for the actividad de comunicación. You can visit a place where Spanish-speaking people shop. Think of maybe a carniceria or a bakery where it's mostly carries Mexican foods. You can eat at a local restaurant. Doesn't have to be a Mexican restaurant. If you were, let's say, in San Diego for a weekend, you could go to a Spanish restaurant or a Cuban restaurant. But around here, it's mostly Mexican restaurants. But we want something authentic, no Taco Bell or Cretans. And we're going to speak in Spanish. We're going to order in Spanish and talk to people politely in Spanish. You can explore a Spanish language website. Remember before, when we went to Práctica, there were lots of websites that we could look at under Gramática and Televisiones y Videos, all kinds of stuff that you can look at. Listen to the radio. Watch a video. So there's links that I showed you before to Destinos, or you can watch a movie in Spanish. If you get Netflix or even you use Blockbuster or anything like that, most of those places carry at least select titles in Spanish. It's okay to use subtitles in English, but when you feel more confident, try to put the subtitles in Spanish. When you watch movies in Spanish, I want you to watch something that was originally filmed in Spanish. It comes from a Spanish-speaking country, not something that is originally an English-speaking movie that you're watching with the dubbing in Spanish. You can listen to the radio. We're fortunate here in Yuma. We can listen to lots of radio stations coming in from Mexico. Or you can go online and listen to radio stations from other parts of the world. Watch the television. You can watch Telemundo, Galavisión, Univisión. Doesn't really matter. You can watch the news if you like. You can watch a telenovela, a comedy show. It doesn't really matter, but do spend enough time to watch an entire episode and kind of get the gist of what's going on in that episode. You can attend a function where Spanish is spoken. So you can go to a concert. Maybe you have a friend who has a quinceañera. Anything like that. Go to church services, a community event. If you go to church regularly around here, most churches have services both in Spanish and in English, and the services are pretty much the same in both languages, with the exception of the language being spoken. Have a conversation with the native speaker. Talk to a friend. Talk to a tutor in the Student Success Center. There are ESL students that are wanting to practice their English, so maybe you can get together for an hour and speak half the time in English and half the time in Spanish, and you'll both get practice. Read the newspaper, a magazine, or other materials in Spanish. We have Bajo el Sol in the area. You can watch the news in Spanish. And I recommend that you do this. Usually, if you watch the news regularly, I would recommend that in the morning you watch it in English and in the evening you watch it in Spanish, or vice versa. Usually, unless there's a major event in the middle of the day, the news is pretty much similar at the morning and the evening. And if you have some other idea, go ahead and try it. If you're unsure if it's a good idea or not, give me a call or send me an email and just pass it by me first. So once you've done the activity, you're going to spend at least 15 minutes doing something in Spanish. You're going to answer these questions. ¿Qué hiciste? What did you do? And I want lots of information. Give me full sentences, complete sentences. I went to Mi Rancho restaurant and spoke with the waitress because I wanted to order huevos rancheros. Okay, but give lots of details. Let me know for sure that I don't have any questions. Also, try doing a variety of activities. Don't do every time the same activity. And then, ¿qué dijiste o observaste en español? Did you observe something in Spanish or did you say something in Spanish? What did you say? Give me some details. So maybe you ordered huevos rancheros. You would say, I greeted the woman in Spanish, hola, buenos días, and whatever it is that you said. Finally, it says, ¿qué aprendiste? What did you learn? Okay. Now, this can be a linguistic or cultural thing that you learn. Maybe you learned a new word. Maybe you learned something cultural. Maybe you learned something about huevos rancheros that you had never heard of before. Give me lots of details. If you're doing an activity that's not causing you to learn new words or new cultural stuff, then you need to think of new things that you can do. You want to learn something new every time you do one of these. Now, once you've typed in all of these answers, you're going to make sure you push submit. And then this is your receipt that you submitted the assignment. Press OK, and it'll go to my inbox. If you have any more questions about how to do the actividades de comunicación, please send me an email or give me a call.